Like a lot of people my age, I've always had an interest in making my own YouTube videos. But I've never actually acted on the idea, mainly because I was probably like 9 and just wanted to do Minecraft Let's Plays at the time. Again, like a lot of people my age. But now that I'm older and actually have an idea of, good content, I decided just to go for it and start a channel and talk about pretty much whatever I feel like. So welcome to Rice, a home for me and my thoughts on film, TV, games, music and just pop culture and the world in general. But first, let me introduce myself. I figured a good way to start my channel would be an introduction of sorts to me and my interests before I really get started on the more varied topics I plan on doing. First, let's talk about film. For a good while now, I've really wanted to be a director and work in the film industry as I have a strong interest and love for film. So, as a way to get to know me, let's go through my favourites. By far my favourite film of all time, at least at the moment, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. One of the best animated films and definitely the best and most definitive Spider-Man movie out there. I'm just so enthralled by its amazing visual style and story, and it just gets better every time I watch it. And I definitely want to give this film its own video sometime down the road. From one new age action comedy animation to another, the next favourite film of mine is the Lego Movie. What could have easily just been a cash grab and 90-minute toy advertisement is a charming, hilarious modern classic that I've watched probably over 20 times because it's just that good. Just to continue the trend of animated movies once more, my next favourite is Studio Ghibli's magnum opus, Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece, Spirited Away. This film is the perfect fantasy story and undoubtedly the best animated film of all time, with a beautiful anime art style and a magical, charming story filled with memorable locations, characters, and moments. This movie has a unique feel to it that I just love. It's just full of an atmosphere and tone that could never be recreated, and that's what makes it amazing. Finally, moving on from animated films, another favourite of mine is La La Land. A slightly unusual pick for a favourite of mine, as I don't watch a lot of musicals, but this film is just special to me for many reasons, but mainly it's the music, of course. I love so many of the songs from this movie, and they're all meaningful to the plot, but most importantly, just enjoyable to listen to, just making the movie so much more memorable. City of Stars being a highlight track of mine, and that final epilogue sequence is just amazing and ended the film on such a bittersweet note. Also, it's just really nice to look at too, and that's always good. I really enjoy a great coming-of-age drama, and in my opinion, The Perks of Being a Wallflower is the quintessential and best teen drama. It deals with heavy topics really well, and all the characters feel real, with their individual issues and goals, but also unique and likeable personalities that made me really connect with and care for each character. It's a movie that makes you feel so many different emotions in its hour and 45-minute runtime, but nothing feels out of place or random. Just a strangely special film to me that I surprisingly only watched once. Regarding film-related content on the channel, it will probably just be reviews, video essays, retrospectives, that kind of thing. But also every month I'll have a What I Watched in the Last Month series, which will make sure I actually post a video at least once a month on this channel and it doesn't go dead for like 4 months at a time. Okay, I feel like I said the word film there like 100 times and I don't want to sound too pretentious on my first video, so let's just move on to... To be completely honest, I don't watch as much TV as I used to, but when I do, I make sure I watch some good shows. Well, that is except Riverdale. That show's absolutely terrible, but I still manage to watch it every week for some reason. That being said, let's move on to my favourites. Like so many others lastly during lockdown, I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time because of its arrival onto Netflix, and I'm really happy that I did, because this show is fantastic. Taking place in what's probably my favourite fantasy world with some of my now favourite characters in fiction history. Avatar is just a gift that keeps on giving, getting better and better with every season. It has one of the best villain redemption arcs I've seen in storytelling, and it's also just hilarious, making the whole show a fun time. Peak fiction. Then, on the completely other end of the animated show spectrum, there's the amazing world of Gumball. Gumball has some of the best comedic writing out there, and I just love the originality that goes into every episode. The animation is unique, combining 2D, 3D, and even real world elements to really differentiate it from everything else on Cartoon Network and just the animation landscape. Just a really fun show. I love Marvel. I love well choreographed action. I love interesting, fleshed out characters. I love Marvel's Daredevil. Attack on Titan is honestly some of the most interesting character-based storytelling that I've seen, whilst also being an insanely high-octane, superbly animated action survival story with so much gore and destruction and tense moments. Its world building is immaculate and really gets better as the show goes on and introduces more elements to the lore. I love all the characters with their little quirks and how they play off of each other, and I'm quite attached to them all. Which is pretty dangerous when watching a show about human-eating giants who brutally feast on anyone in their path. But I guess that's part of the fun of it, am I right? Video content about TV will basically just be the same as film, reviews, retrospectives, etc., as well as being included in the What I Watched Last Month series. Okay, enough about what I like to watch. How about what I like to play? Before I do the whole listing my favourites again, I just need to say that I really like Nintendo. Not as a company, because Nintendo can do some really strange things, so just ignore that. But their games? Yeah, it's kind of a thing. But anyway, time for list number 3, yay! I feel like this is a bit of a nostalgia childhood kind of thing, but I love Minecraft. I don't play it as much as I used to, but it still holds a special place in my heart, as a game that I've played for countless hours, with friends on Xbox, creating countless memories, and just by myself on my iPad too, before I even had an Xbox. All because it's just such a good game, even today. Now, onto the first Nintendo game on the list, and yes, there will be a few. Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Ultimate, because they're both pretty cool. My first Smash game, and probably my favourite game up until I got into Minecraft and stopped playing on my Wii as often. Brawl is still one of my favourite games of all time, even in the face of the seemingly better in every way Smash Ultimate, and that's all down to Subspace Emissary. I think I'll give it its own video, but this mode is one of the coolest things in video game history. Just being a massive crossover story mode with amazing CG cutscenes that stuck with me through my childhood to today. However, I prefer Ultimate's overall experience, but for its gameplay, heaps of content, and because I can play anywhere I want, seeing as it's a Switch game. I also might be a little biased because Minecraft Steve's in it, and he's not in Brawl, so that just automatically makes it better overall. Whilst I may not be that good at it, and I haven't played it in like a year at this point, Overwatch is still my favourite online shooter. I do like COD, but I haven't played any of the games nearly as much as I have with Overwatch, so I feel like I'm obliged to prefer it to that series and other popular FPS franchises like Battlefield or Doom, which again are still good. What I love most about the game is its massive cast of lovable, relatable and memorable characters. They just bring so much life and personality to the hero shooter genre, which is really needed to get into a game built around distinct characters, but without a story mode. Also, the gameplay is just so fun, and I was addicted to the game for a good couple of years, without ever getting really good at the game, ever, which is a bit weird, but let's just move on from that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe isn't really a game that comes straight to mind when I think of my favourite games of all time, but when I really do think about it, I don't have many complaints about the game either. I find it really fun, and I always come back to it every few weeks for a few online races and just to have a good time. Plus, it's the best Mario Kart game without question. No Brawl / Ultimate situation here, sorry guys. Mario Kart Wii just isn't as good. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and I love a good sci-fi shooter, so Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a game for me. Plus, it has probably the best redemption arcs in video game history, going from the most hated game at its release to one of the best multiplayer games on the market today. Character development, we love to see it. Okay, this last one isn't really a favourite at the moment. I just want to say, I'm currently playing through Breath of the Wild for the first time, and it's really just as amazing as everyone says it is. So just preemptively, I'm mentioning it here because it'll probably be on my all-time fave list by the time I finish it. Content related to gaming on the channel will probably also be similar to film and TV, but I also do want to do concept kind of videos and other less scripted, more brainstormy stuff, just for fun I guess. That's about it though really. This was more of an introduction to the channel than me, but it was also about me. which makes sense because this is my YouTube channel, of course, and those are the topics I'm probably going to be talking about most, so it's just a bit of both. My next video will be what I watched in April, coming out sometime after April, and then whatever I feel like talking about really. Even maybe other stuff not related to those big 3 topics I went on for like 50 minutes about, if it's relevant and something I want to share my views on. Make sure to follow me on various socials which are on the screen now and in the description below if you really want to hear more from me, for whatever reason you'd want to do that. Especially Instagram, as I'm most active there at the moment. I'll also plug my Spotify just because I can, so go follow me in my playlists. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.